DC Comics continues to destroy their entire brand because last year they had a comic about Superman. He was imprisoned, tortured, and it's heavily implied that he bent over in prison. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. Happy New Year to everyone watching. I hope that all of you had yourselves a wonderful New Year. I hope your Christmas went over well. Hope everything was great. I hope you had a safe time. Now I'm finally back, and by God, the ball has already started rolling because a lot of things have already started happening. There's going to be a lot to catch up on here, so first off, let's start with this. Let's talk about comics, because God, has there been a lot going on here. We already know that the comic book industry in the West has been collapsing. DC and Marvel destroying themselves. I mean, they've been falling apart. Manga's been kicking their ass. I mean, that's no-brainer. That's very obvious to see that's been happening. You look at what happened recently with Marvel, where Marvel took the Punisher, an iconic character that many people looked up to and enjoyed, which of course he'd be way too mature for modern Marvel, and, well, they went ahead and neutered him because they took his iconic logo and changed it. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, along with his guns. So now he doesn't even use guns either. So not only did they change the iconic logo to something as stupid as this, but now his guns are gone. Absolutely ridiculous.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
It's not as if we haven't been seeing that problem alongside DC. You look at both DC and Marvel, they both push their activism and they ruin characters just to be able to preach to their audience, pushing their political agendas down people's throats. And if you disagree with them, well, then you're a bigot. At least that's the way they treat it, attacking the fans. And look, even AT&T was looking to sell DC Comics to the highest bidder because you look at it, well, they know that it's complete garbage. So much so that even pigs probably would avoid it like the plague, and pigs eat absolutely everything. It's even garbage to pigs. But seriously though, this is what they do. They take characters, they gender swap them, they race swap them, or they make existing characters gay. This is exactly what they've been doing. They have no ideas. They are all about their activism, and that's really all it is. And then when a character comes out as gay, it's basically just in the headlines for like a few weeks to a month, and then it dies like a fart in the wind because, look, nobody cares about it. Besides, people are tired of seeing their favorite heroes being twisted for agenda purposes. That's why they're sick and tired of it. You know, and when they take these characters and say when they make them gay, for example, well, it's not natural. And the only thing that is there for their character is basically the personalities being gay. Just want to tell you, being gay is not a personality trait. Just throwing that out there. But they try to act like it is. Now, last year there was a comic that came out in March, I believe it was, called Superman Red and Blue. And in this comic, he is taken and he is imprisoned, he's tortured, and it's heavily implied that he is taken advantage of while he's in the prison. So here's a tweet right here. Hey Jim, any thoughts on the latest Superman comic where Kent is imprisoned, tortured, and taken advantage of? Yes, Superman taken advantage of by normal dudes. This is disgusting. I mean, it really is. They take an American icon, you know, which is Superman. You know, he stands for truth, justice, and the American way. That's what he was known for. A man of hope, you know, gave people hope, faith. And then it's like, oh yeah, let's just take the character and let's imply that we're going to do terrible things, take advantage of. Like, this is horrible. Like, this is terrible. This is modern DC Comics at its worst. I mean, it's disgusting. In case people were wondering how the hell did he get taken advantage of, also the story tried to have a big triumphant ending, but it really did just come off as sad. Also, not so fun fact, the story is meant to be a retelling / sequel to a story from World's Finest. And so, as you can see here, this is the panel. We're going to take a look at this panel. This is what it says. The regime scientist had found a way to synthesize and disseminate low-grade kryptonite radiation. Before I could fly out of the country, they used it on me, not enough to kill me, just to mute all my powers. I tried to disguise myself and escape the country on foot. I barely made it 5 miles. When they caught up to me, I was no match for the bloodhounds and armed officers of the Chevrons, the Lubinian secret police. I was brought to the camp and thrown in with dissidents, opposition leaders, and activists. Oh man, you don't say. You were thrown in there with activists. I'm not at all surprised. And then get ready for this, because this next part right here is pretty telling. First off, it says, I was held for 8 months. 8 months of starvation, indoctrination, and forced labor. 8 months of being used as a propaganda tool to prove the weakness of the West. I mean, that's exactly what's going on right now. This is what they've been doing to Superman for quite a while. This is exactly what DC Comics is doing to Superman. While Manga is literally destroying them. My God. But I'm Superman, right? Superman's invulnerable. Superman can survive anything. Yes, he can survive anything. Except for woke bums. Because they don't respect Superman's character. They don't care about him. You know, they don't like this character at all, especially for what he stands for. So, of course, they're going to desecrate the character. They're going to try to ruin him as much as they possibly can. I mean, it's revolting. It is absolutely disgusting. And that's what they want to do to Superman. They just want to ruin him. That was what I told myself every night, but every day. And then this is where it gets awful. I mean, this is something that I don't think anybody would want to see. This scene right here, and this is a real panel. This is a real panel of what happens, and this is where it's heavily implied. Every day, they would drag me into the interview room. Every day, they would restrain me in a way that left me exposed and vulnerable. And every day, for 8 months, they did things to me. They did things to me while I was forced to look at him, which he's looking at Nikolai Kozlov, which, God, the way that this scene's portrayed, God, who is this for? I mean, seriously, as you can tell with this scene, it is heavily implied that he got the rod, which, oh, man, he's supposed to be the Man of Steel, not the man taking steel. Jesus, this is horrible. See, and this is the problem with DC Comics. This is what they do. They do stuff like this. Nobody wants to see this happen to Superman. I mean, you look at DC Comics, what are they doing? They're just putting gasoline on the fire and just laughing while they set themselves ablaze. So the person that wrote this, now, don't bother them, leave them alone, don't contact them. But apparently the writer was John Ridley, apparently seeing his past work, including an op-ed clamoring for the censorship of Gone with the Wind for racism. I wouldn't be surprised if this is some reverse buck-breaking revenge fantasy, which I wouldn't be surprised either. And this is one of the things here. In the first issue of the Other History of the DC Universe, the spotlight is on Black Lightning. Superman arrives to lecture him about being a vigilante on the wrong side of the law. But Black Lightning turns the conversation toward the Man of Steel, saying if he didn't want to deal with dealers, then he could help us tear down some tenements and put up decent housing. If he didn't want to fight crime, he could help us plant some gardens, but I told him what he didn't get to do was fly his white privilege to my part of the city and lecture me on how to be a hero. Jesus Christ. Of course DC would do that. Yep, DC right there with their communism. Like, oh God. And this is why you don't hire woke circus clowns. You don't hire these people. You just don't. Because they'll ruin anything you hire them to work for. Like, just don't hire these people. Fire them. As society is opened up to more discussions about race, the American crime creator and showrunner understands the moment that he's in and the audience that he is courting as well. Earlier this year, Ridley wrote an op-ed for the Times imploring HBO Max to at least temporarily remove Gone with the Wind for the way it ignores the horrors of slavery and romanticizes the Confederacy. I would just ask, after a respectful amount of time has passed, Ridley wrote, that the film be reintroduced to the HBO Max platform along with other films to give a more broad-based and complete picture of what slavery and the Confederacy truly were. Or perhaps it could be paired with conversations about narratives and why it's important to have many voices sharing stories from different perspectives rather than merely those reinforcing the views of the prevailing culture. See, all they want to do is tear down. They want to destroy things. That's what they want to do. They want to destroy art. They want to destroy entertainment. That's what they want to do. Like, people can agree that slavery was a terrible thing. It never should have happened anywhere. Not just America, just in general. Slavery should never have happened ever in history. But, this is the thing. You just get people like this and they complain. They try to tear down and destroy. This is what they're doing with Superman. Superman, what does he stand for? He stands for the American way. He's a beacon of hope, morality, justice. That people can understand in that regard. And in turn, how do they treat him? They torture him and heavily imply that he was sodomized. I mean, this is horrible. This is so many people's heroes. I mean, even children look up to Superman. This was a hero to children even. But this is what these woke idiots do. They go and attack anything that stands for hope, integrity, and virtue. And that's what they do. They try to destroy it. I mean, and that's what they're doing by, going after Superman and doing this to him. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. This is horrible. And they wonder why manga's kicking their ass. Well, this is the reason why. This is exactly why. This is why you should support manga. Support indie creators, because they're going to try to actually create real entertainment that you will love and enjoy, unlike what DC and Marvel are doing in the modern day. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here. And make sure you were still subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. The links are in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.